वाला प्ले करना है।
जानू ये गलत बात है ना, मैंने आपको एक बार भी लिंक किया इस चीज के लिए। मैंने तो आपके सामने एक बार भी इस चीज को नहीं जाहिर किया।
सर मुझे लगता है
कोई किसी का भला करने जा रहा है, उसका हो जाए तो वो उसकी किस्मत है ना।
Please, I request everyone to mute yourselves as as it's causing a lot of disturbance. Mohita, should we start? It's 5. Good evening, everyone. So, welcome you all to the SharED for Planet platform. So, SharED for Planet is a platform where we meet every month, once a month, to discuss and to hold a conversation with people who are doing something really different and unique in order. Sorry.
आ रही आवाज
बहुत disturb आ रहा है, so still on mute so that others do not get disturbed. Yeah. So SharED for Planet is a platform where we invite people who are working in various domains in order to preserve the planet's health and in turn preserve our own health. So it does not matter that the person or the organization should be really a big shot. Like we mostly invite people, individuals whose personal journey is quite interesting, and we can learn from their day-to-day experiences. And for all these years, whatever work they are whatever work they are doing, so that we can take things a step ahead. And yeah, so I would like to request you all to share your brief introductions on the chat so that we know each other a little bit and how are we. That way we can take the conversation further. Also, I would request Poonamji to start the meeting with a minute of silence, a guided meditation for a while so that we all can recenter ourselves and be fully present during the session and make the most of it.
Thank you so much, Shubhangi. And you know, the environment which I can see behind you seems to be very interesting. So that is reflecting on your face. So as usual, we always start with this minute of silence. तो सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि एक आरामदायक स्थिति में बैठ जाए और अपनी आंखें बंद कर ले। जो लोग आंखें नहीं बंद कर सकते वो कृपया नीचे नजरें झुका सकते हैं। 3-4 लंबी गहरी सांसें लीजिए। सहज रूप से अपनी आती जाती सांसों को देखेंगे। सांस दाईं नासिका से आ रही है या बाईं नासिका से जा रही है, केवल जानेंगे। अपनी सांस से कोई छेड़छाड़ नहीं करेंगे। आइए हम अपना ध्यान अपने पैरों की तरफ ले जाएं और अपने पैरों के नीचे धरती को, जमीन को, पृथ्वी को महसूस करें। और महसूस करें कि हमें पृथ्वी से एक ट्रेमेंडस एनर्जी, एक भरपूर ऊर्जा प्राप्त हो रही है और उसका संचरण हमारे पूरे शरीर में हो रहा है। महसूस करें कि हम में स्फूर्ति और ऊर्जा का संचार हो रहा है। और जहाँ भी हम बैठे हैं वहाँ के सुंदर वातावरण में, जहाँ हमें भरपूर ऑक्सीजन, छाया, हवा, पानी, यहाँ कोई भी कमी नहीं है, वहाँ बैठकर हम आज के इस कार्यक्रम को ग्रहण करने के लिए अब पूरी तरह से तैयार हैं। हम सभी का धन्यवाद करते हैं इस पर्यावरण का, और हम सभी जो आपस में आज जुड़े हैं। जब भी आप सहज महसूस करें तो आप अपनी आंखें खोल सकते हैं।
Thank you, Poonam ji. I I feel like everyone is here back in the session. आप धीरे धीरे सेशन में लौट सकते हैं, जैसे भी आप कंफर्टेबल फील करें. So like SharED एक ऐसी कम्युनिटी है जहाँ पर हम लाइक माइंडेड लोग आपस में कनेक्ट करते हैं, कॉन्वर्सेशंस होती हैं, हम अलग अलग लोगों से अलग अलग इनिशिएटिव से वी कैन connect with and do the discussions and also ask for help within the community. So हम हमारी कम्युनिटी का लिंक आपके साथ शेयर भी करेंगे and like you all can stay connected with that. Also, you can suggest who can platform and we can have a conversation with them. Your suggestions are most welcome. Even you can come and share your personal journeys, which can inspire others to be very much conscious in our day-to-day lives. So with that, I would like to welcome you all to the session, and I would like to welcome Vasuki ji. I would like to welcome all other team members and all of you. And thank you for joining the session. I would like to request that if we go with the flow, like with the session flow in English, does anyone have any issue, or you would want to continue in Hindi? Is there anyone who would like the session to go on in Hindi? We have planned the session to be a mix of English and Hindi, where the videos which we will play are in Hindi, and Vasuki ji will share his content, his journey, his things in English and Hindi both. So, like, if anyone wants the entire thing to be in Hindi or anywhere you feel stuck, please feel free to put it on the chat box that, okay, you want a Hindi translation and we will be there. But more or less, can we go ahead with English? I would like to have your responses so that we can start. If anyone is having any issue with English, you can type in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll continue with English. All right. So I would just, in very brief, let you know what Vasuki ji do, and you might have read about his intro in the posters and all what we have shared. Vasuki ji is a waste management consultant with 8+ years of experience in biodegradable waste management. He's a member of the Solid Waste Management Roundtable since 2018. He's the founder of Soil and Health Solutions, a social enterprise since 2016, and he has designed various cost-effective composting solutions. They are DIY, do-it-yourself solutions for home, communities like apartments, as well as large-scale composting. This year's experience in the IT industry has worked both in US and India. He serves as a trustee at Waste Impact Trust, which conducts Reimagine Waste Hackathon at the Indian Institute of Science. So he has been working in Bangalore for quite a lot of time, and he's a person with loads and loads of practical experience. So let's make the best use of the opportunity to learn how can we divert most of our waste from landfills, and how can we make that thing into pure black gold, what we call as waste on our day-to-day basis. So I would just like to open up with a few questions that you can share about your basic understanding of composting. What are the things you are keen to learn from the session today? What are your difficulties? Have you ever tried composting at home? So yeah, you can just share your thoughts on chat. Meanwhile, I would like to welcome Vasuki ji, and please take over. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Shubhangi. Thank you, Poonam ji. That was a very interesting. I think I never started off with a meditation before in a online program. It was very effective, and let me share a few slides that I was very, you know. Very happy to see the connection with the Mother Earth that you spoke about, and then all the Panchabhutas. It was very nice. And one of the thing that I will be talking about is the soil in which we grow our food. So let me share a presentation here. Yeah. So to just start with, I'm Vasuki Iyenger. I'm a member of Solid Waste Management Roundtable. I live in Bangalore, and I worked in IT industry for 22 years, and now I'm working and talking about composting. There are a lot of similarities when we talk about problem solution, process improvement. All these things that we apply in corporate, it's actually something that we apply in our daily life as well as in whichever field that we go to. There is a reason why the company was named Soil and Health Solutions, because of Mr. Dr. Joshi Cherian, who is my guru. This is the his statement he wrote a white paper on managing human and environmental health by improving soil health. There is a deterioration of human health over the years. We go to the clinic or hospital more often than our parents and grandparents. And similarly, our children who are growing in these urban cities are experiencing more health issues compared to what we did. And the reason is there are four things that are listed here. First one is the chemical residue that is there in the food that we eat. The food that we eat has a residue of the pesticide or the chemical fertilizer, and that actually when we consume, it affects our health. And also the water, the underground water is actually contaminated. The second one is the food without nutrients. If you have to eat, need actually same nutrients that was in one cucumber, now you have to eat 5 of them because they are actually grown in different, whether it is genetically modified or it is grown somewhere else, which we don't know. And
sir, I'll just can you use a mix of Hindi and English? Will it be difficult?
Yeah, what I can do is I can finish this particular slide.
Okay,
and if Shubhangi or you can actually explain, that will be great.
Okay, no problem.
They mix the one particular reason why I'm hesitant is I know only certain words. I do not know exactly the pure Hindi. There are few excellent speakers who speak Hindi that I know of, and that's the reason.
We really don't need pure Hindi. Actually, it's English nowadays. So that will do, no problems.
Okay. So this the food without nutrient is one, and then the third one is the mixed garbage. When we put our the wet waste, gila kachra, there is dry waste, and then there is reject waste. That's a third category of waste. All of them in one plastic bag, tie it, and then send it out. It is actually coming back to our own mouth as microplastic, or it is actually contaminating the food where it is grown, or even the milk or the water, and it is actually coming back to our own body. It doesn't matter who threw. It is somebody threw, that is also coming back. And if we are throwing mixed garbage, that is all three streams of solid waste being mixed, that's a problem. The fourth one is a very important thing. When we kind of started being under the influence of the Western countries, and we started using these single-use disposables. One time you use a plastic water container, and then you throw it. The water bottle, you throw it. Even the mineral water bottle, only 9% of it is getting recycled. Only 9%. All other things are going into a landfill. And this the convenience of using single-use disposables has affected our health. Also, this last part is extended shelf life. We buy a cauliflower or a pomegranate. We don't want it to go bad for even 15 days or 3 weeks. It should remain shining and colorful, and it should look fresh. So that is where actually the farmers started injecting certain chemicals to make it extend its life. And then also the oil that we cook, most part of our food, oil is actually contaminated because it is being pasteurized and heated up. So these are the reasons why human health is affected. Poonamji?
वासुकी जी ने अभी बोला कि जो सॉइल की हेल्थ है उसका डायरेक्ट इफेक्ट ह्यूमन हेल्थ पर है। तो उसमें जो केमिकल्स आ जाते हैं या पानी जो है वो सब हम फूड चेन से जो भी हम कूड़ा करकट जो फेंकते हैं, हमें लगता है कि हमने प्लास्टिक बैग में कूड़ा जो है फेंक दिया, पर हम ये नहीं जानते कि यही कूड़ा जो है ये वापस हमारे पास फूड चेन्स के थ्रू वापस हमारे पास पहुंच रहा है, और ये हम इन अ वे डायरेक्टली हम अपने लिए ही जो है ऑयल में डाल रहे हैं, और जो हमारे पौधे इस केमिकल के न्यूट्रिएंट्स लेकर ग्रो करते हैं, और जो वो पानी होता है हमारा जो हम पौधों को कंटामिनेटेड होता है, ये सब हमारे पास वापस उस फूड के थ्रू ही पहुंच रहा है। और हम ये भी जानते हैं कि जो नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल होते हैं सब्सटेंसेस, केमिकल्स और प्लास्टिक्स, ये फूड चेन में हर ट्रॉफिक लेवल के साथ आगे आगे इनका कंसंट्रेशन बढ़ता जाता है। ये हमारी बॉडी को इसको ब्रेक डाउन करने की कोई कैपेसिटी नहीं होती, और इन सब केमिकल्स का जो असर है वो हमारी हेल्थ पे हो रहा है, और वो हम देख ही रहे हैं आजकल। बहुत सारी ऐसी नॉन कम्युनिकेबल बीमारियां हैं जो बढ़ चुकी हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द पॉल्यूशन। एक और जो लास्ट में बहुत अच्छा वासुकी जी ने बोला, कन्वीनियंस और एक्सटेंडेड शेल्फ लाइफ। तो जो प्लास्टिक की जो भी कंज्यूमेबल्स, जो भी बॉटल्स, पानी वगैरह, उसका वो कह रहे हैं सिर्फ 7 से 8% जो है रिसाइकल, रीयूज जो भी कुछ है होता है, बाकी सब लैंडफिल में पहुंचता है। और लैंडफिल से ये सभी चीजें फिजिकल प्रोसेसेस के द्वारा हमारे सॉइल में पहुंचती हैं और सालों तक पड़ी रहती हैं, और एक कॉन्टिन्यूअस सोर्स पॉल्यूशन का बन चुकी हैं। और क्योंकि हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे फूड प्रोडक्ट हम खा रहे हैं ये जल्दी खराब ना होए,
वीडियो और आवाज
इस चीज को जो है फार्मर्स ने भी अपनाया है और इसीलिए वो भी कुछ केमिकल्स इंजेक्ट कर रहे हैं हमारे फ्रेश वेजिटेबल्स और फ्रूट्स में, ताकि उनकी शेल्फ लाइफ बढ़ जाए। तो ये सभी बातें वासुकी जी ने बताई। और इनफैक्ट आजकल जो बहुत बात हो रही है सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स की, उसके अंदर भी हम यही बात कर रहे हैं कि सस्टेनेबल सिटीज बनानी है और हमें रिस्पॉन्सिबल प्रोडक्शन और कंजम्पशन करनी है और नो हंगर होना है। तो ये सभी चीजें हैं, पर ये सब कुछ जो शुरू हो रहा है वो कहाँ से शुरू हो रहा है? हमारे सॉइल से, मदर अर्थ से। थैंक यू।
So, this is the difference between a healthy soil and a depleted soil. India is known for very fertile soil in the Deccan Plateau and various different places where we were growing our food. And the healthy soil, when I say, it is actually the forest soil. And the forest soil will have organic matter that's up to 2 to 3%, because when a tree sheds its leaves, it's falling on the below its own root level into the on the soil, and it belongs to the tree. It is part of the tree, and then it feeds nutrition to the tree. And in an urban place, we actually always sweep it and then send it to a landfill, whereas in forest it is always feeding. Even when a herbivorous animal or a carnivorous animal dies, it doesn't matter. It is actually just there only. That's the reason why the soil is a living soil. It is living soil with lot of insects and worms. 95% of them actually don't harm you or anybody. They are beneficial microorganisms and insects and worms. 2 to 3 million earthworms will be there, and then 10 to 15 tons of microbes. Whereas in a depleted soil, because of excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, our soil where our farmers are trying to grow food, it has organic matter is nothing but the kitchen waste, garden cuttings, agro waste, and the dry leaves. All this, it came from soil and it should go back into the soil. And we are actually trying to not put it back into the soil and send it to a landfill, and that is a problem. So when the soil is weak, that is depleted, you need to actually put the organic matter into it, and the one organic matter that you have in your hand is the kitchen waste, the dry leaves, and the garden cuttings. And we can do this work of putting that back into the soil is because my waste is my responsibility, and I can actually even if I don't have much space, I can still have few pots in my window shelf, and then try to grow some safe vegetables using the kitchen waste that we generated and this part. So this is the major difference. A city like Bengaluru generates 5,600 tons of garbage every day. Out of that, 60 to 70% is wet waste or the kitchen waste. It is biodegradable waste. Instead of dumping this kitchen waste in a landfill and spoiling the health and the livelihood of the village, instead we should convert it into compost and send it to the villages, and villages can grow safe food and send it back to the city. Poonam ji. Sorry, you are on mute, Poonam ji.
सॉरी। दो पिक्चर्स दिख रही हैं आपको मॉनिटर पे, एक हेल्दी सॉइल है और एक डिप्लीटेड सॉइल है। हेल्दी सॉइल नाम से ही पता चल रहा है, जिसकी हेल्थ अच्छी है, और जिसकी हेल्थ अच्छी होगी तो उसमें पौधे भी अच्छे से उगेंगे। और इस सॉइल का, इस मिट्टी का, इस मृदा का जो ऑर्गेनिक मैटर है, जिसको हम ह्यूमस भी कह सकते हैं, वो 2 से 3% है। और ये जो बीमार सॉइल है, जिसको डिप्लीटेड सॉइल भी कहा गया है, इसका ऑर्गेनिक मैटर 0.5% है। और आप सभी को मालूम है कि अर्थवर्म्स जो हैं उनको हम फार्मर्स फ्रेंड कहते हैं, और वो मिट्टी को उपजाऊ तो बनाते ही हैं, साथ ही साथ उसमें एयरेशन भी करते हैं, क्योंकि वो उसमें माइक्रो चैनल्स बना देते हैं ताकि जो पौधों की जड़ें हैं उनको ऑक्सीजन मिलती रहे। सो 2 से 3 मिलियन अर्थवर्म्स जो हैं एक हेल्दी मृदा में होंगे, और यहाँ पर सिर्फ 200 से 300 हजार अर्थवर्म्स पर एकड़ हमारी बीमार मृदा में होंगे। क्योंकि जब सॉइल अनहेल्दी है, जहां हमने केमिकल्स डाल दिए, पेस्टिसाइड्स डाल दी, माइक्रोप्लास्टिक्स डाल दिए, तो ये जीव कैसे रह पाएंगे। इसी तरह से जो हेल्दी सॉइल है उसमें बहुत सारे और सॉइल के ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं, लिविंग बींग्स हैं जो वहां पे रहते हैं, और 10 से 15 टन माइक्रोब्स, माइक्रोब्स मतलब सूक्ष्म जीव, जो हम सूक्ष्मदर्शी से देख सकते हैं, जो हमारी आंखों को नहीं दिखते, प्रति एकड़ में 10 से 15 टन ये सूक्ष्म जीव हैं। और जबकि वहां पर सिर्फ 3 से 5 टन सूक्ष्म जीव हैं। आपको मालूम है, अगर सूक्ष्म जीव ना हो तो कोई भी ऐसा केमिकल प्रोसेस नहीं है इतना एफिशिएंट कि हमारी पृथ्वी पर जो कूड़े के ढेर हैं उनको क्लियर कर सके। तो ये सब जो है, दोनों में फर्क है। Over to you, Vasuki.
Yeah. So I'll go little, faster, maybe in the interest of the time. This is a picture of a landfill, and those who would like to, I think Delhi folks know about landfill quite well. I think there has been a lot of protests around Gurgaon and NCR area. And these are actually our pictures in Bangalore, but I'm sure you will find something similar over there also, where our rivers and lakes are polluted. Now, what is that we should do as citizens and human beings is separate our waste into 3 categories. It is my waste is my responsibility. Segregation at source is the best thing. It is achievable. There are lots and lots of bureaucrats and officials who keep saying that we kind of need a machine that can separate. No, it is actually segregation at primary source, that is at the home, is the best thing to separate it into wet waste, that is kitchen waste, or gila kachda. This is the dry waste. And then there is reject waste, the red bin, that is danger, because it has sanitary pads and diapers. And anything that has come in contact with human fluids, that should be actually a separate category, because this is infectious. So when we look at the waste, this is 60 to 65%. Majority of the waste we generate is wet waste. The dry waste is 30 to 35%. And then there is actually the 5 to 10% reject waste. So this is waste segregation. I'm sure with Swachh Bharat and lot of importance given for clean Swachh Bharat, there is a push for 3-way segregation. It's not 2-way, it is 3-way, and that is very important. Now, I'll just shift to the major topic, and that is actually the composting today. And this is a movement. A lot of people from different cities call us and ask, how did you guys start in Bangalore? Why is it actually that there is a movement? How you were able to actually educate, create awareness? Because of a event called Swachhagraha. Swachhagraha's intent was compost your kitchen waste at home, use the compost to grow your own safe vegetables, because you are growing, and obviously you will not put any chemicals because you know that it is unhealthy. Then use the grown vegetables, make a dish, cook at home, eat, or you can always actually share either the compost or the vegetables. So this is the event that started 7 years ago, and we all are part of this Swachhagraha movement in Bengaluru, launched by Solid Waste Management Roundtable. Now, when I speak about composting, most of the time people have the mindset that it is going to smell bad. It is going to create a lot of mosquitoes and flies, and it will affect my health if I start composting at home. Today's session is to show the demo, to say, if you follow the process, there is a process that I'm going to explain and show the demo. It will not smell bad. It will not generate mosquitoes and flies, and you will be successful in actually trying. And it's not that we succeeded in the first attempt itself. We failed first time, then we learned from the failure the second time, and then again there was somewhere actually we kind of started not focusing, not supervising, not following the process. Then we learned over a period of time how to, but we have documented all this. We have videos that are in Hindi language, which we are going to see later part, that explains, as well as in English in 6 other languages. So when we talk about composting, kitchen waste, there is vegetable peels, fruit peels, there is used coffee tea powder, flowers, leftover food, non-veg waste. Even that can be composted. There is no need to, if you look at internet on the Google, you will see that, okay, don't put leftover food, don't put non-veg, don't worry about all those things. They all can compost, because they all actually came from soil, and it is biodegradable. Apart from that, if you have a tree or a plant, then you will have some dry leaves and small twigs and garden cuttings. Okay, so this compost, the beautiful black gold that you see here, is what helps in growing these greens. This is safe vegetables, because this is what is important to protect our health. You don't need to actually, you can buy only some, start small with only growing 5 simple greens and 5 simple vegetables, easy to grow. And then you will, in no time, you will get hooked on to this beautiful thing called gardening that can reduce your stress at work level, at personal level. It's always healthy to grow at home. So there is a simple science and a whole lot of art. Composting is more about the art of composting than you don't need to be a botanist or a microbiologist to grow.
Sir, can we?
Poonam ji, you can probably summarize.
तो जो पहली पीपीटी में बता रहे थे, तो मेन इसका यही है कि 60% जो वेस्ट है हमारा वेट वेस्ट होता है, और बाकी 30 to 35% जो है वो जो हम नीले डब्बे में डालते हैं, और बाकी थोड़ा सा जो है वो डेंजरस वाला होता है, जो जिसमें ह्यूमन फ्लूइड्स सब होते हैं. तो मेरा कूड़ा मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. तो जो वेट वेस्ट है उसको हम कैसे कंपोस्ट बना सकते हैं उसके बारे में वासुकी जी ने बोला, और शायद हम कुछ स्लाइड शेयर करना रह गई शायद. वी आर एट 4R प्रिंसिपल. वासुकी जी, डू वी नीड टू शेयर द अदर स्लाइड्स आल्सो? मेन जो बात आ रही थी वो ये थी कि जो हम सोचते हैं कि अगर हम कंपोस्टिंग अपने घर में करेंगे तो वो उसमें बहुत बदबू आएगी, स्मेल आएगी, और घर का एनवायरनमेंट खराब हो जाएगा. तो अभी वीडियोस के द्वारा और वो प्रैक्टिकली अभी बताने जा रहे हैं कि किस तरह से हम कंपोस्टिंग करें, और अपनी सब्जियां कुछ जो साधारण आसानी से उगाई जा सकती हैं हम खुद उगाएं, जिसको हम कह सकते हैं बहुत कन्वीनियंटली और कन्विक्शन से कि ये ऑर्गेनिक फूड है, जो मार्केट में हमें मालूम भी नहीं होता, जिसके लिए हम बहुत अधिक कीमत देते हैं और फिर भी श्योर नहीं होते कि ये क्या है. Over to you, sir.
Okay, so now we'll go for the demo and then we'll come back again to the PPT. I'll continue here. Give me just 1 minute while I switch to my mobile phone. Okay, is it audible, my voice?
Yes, we can hear you. हम सुन पा
Okay.
रहे हैं.
Okay, so here is a simple demo wherein we have this question about, is it going to smell bad? And that happens because we actually put the kitchen waste in a, sorry. Okay, so we are actually we put it in a bucket like this, and one day there is may not be any collection, and then the second day and the third day, what happens when there is no air circulation? If there are no holes made, then it will start smelling bad. Whereas this container, what you see here, is it has 3 mm holes on the lid, and then there are 3 mm holes on the side, and then there are 10 mm holes in the bottom, and it is kept in a plate, bottom plate. So that is your aerobic composting bin. So you can also use a mud pot, you can also use a plastic container, or it can be a mesh composter also. This is a plastic container. I'll also show you, this is my garden, and here is a mud pot that is from Daily Dump. And then next to it, you see a mesh composter here. So this is, all these things are in front of my main door. I am actually proudly showcasing these compost bins in front of my home, and there is no need to hide it behind the home in a corner where nobody goes there. Okay, so the to compost, first thing is the container, and it can be a plastic container, it can be a mud pot, it can be a metal mesh composter. Second thing is the air circulation through the 3 mm holes. Now the third thing is the kitchen waste that we have in our plate here. It's a platter of puja flowers, there is used coffee tea powder, there is vegetable peels and fruit peels, there's some garden cuttings also. All these things, it came from soil and it can be composted. Mainly, this material has 60 to 70% moisture or the water content. If you have watermelon, it has 90 to 95% moisture. If you have the onion peels and carrot peels, it may have less. But this water content in the kitchen waste is the reason for most of the problems in composting. And we need to balance this using the brown material, that is the material that we are holding in hand now is cocoa peat. There is some old compost. It can be animal manure, or it can be dry leaves also. Crushed dry leaves, it can absorb the moisture that is there in the kitchen waste. Right? This is the important, most important aspect, which is the moisture content in the gila kachda. The wet waste should be absorbed by brown material that is available, and it should be added in equal proportion. Now, the fourth one is the microorganisms, and microorganisms are everywhere. It is there in a cow dung. It's a native cow dung that we have. It's not a Jersey cow. Cow dung patties are available in Amazon and in many other places. We just have to, open our eyes and see in Bengaluru, even though it is a software, city, but we have about 50 goshalas in here, and we need to go and fetch it from them. Not that it will get delivered to your door. The other one is the powder that is there in the box here. It's commercially available, microbes powder. And then there is also microbial cocoa peat. And you can also use sour buttermilk. Buttermilk, when it is sour, it will have. That is the fourth one. And the fifth one is the place. Where do I keep it? And that place can be in the balcony, it can be in the garage, it should be rain protected, and these are the places where we can actually keep it. It can be below the water tank, below the solar panel. In an apartment, it is in the balcony. If we feel my waste is my responsibility, then we will be able to find space also. Poonamji, do you want to summarize those 5 things?
Because we really want to have as much as possible from you. कंपोस्टिंग करने के लिए इन्होंने एक बर्तन लिया है, और ये जो बाल्टी है इसमें जो है होल्स किए हुए हैं, और जो बाल्टी के ढक्कन में भी होल्स हैं और साइड में भी होल्स हैं. आई थिंक 4 mm होल्स, और नीचे 10 mm बेस पे जो है थोड़े बड़े होल्स हैं. और क्योंकि इसमें हमने किचन वेस्ट डालनी है, तो इसलिए किचन वेस्ट में जो है ऑलमोस्ट 80% तक, 60 to 80% पानी होता है. और उसको जो है पानी को जो है एब्जॉर्ब करने के लिए हम देख पा रहे हैं कि ड्राई लीव्स जो हैं बॉटम में डाली जा सकती हैं. प्लास्टिक की इस कंटेनर के अलावा हम मेश, आयरन मेश का भी कंटेनर यूज कर सकते हैं, और मिट्टी के गमले या मिट्टी का बना हुआ कंटेनर भी यूज कर सकते हैं. और इसको कहीं छुपाने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिल्कुल शान से सामने रखिएगा, घर में बालकनी में सजाइएगा. एरोबिक डिकम्पोजिशन होने लगी है, और यहाँ ये हम देख रहे हैं कोकोपीट डाला जा रहा है सूखे पत्तों के ऊपर. आई होप आई एम करेक्ट. और
Yes, that is cocoa peat and some compost, your own compost also.
yeah,
There is zero cost composting, where you don't need to spend any money at all. You can gather as much dry leaves as possible, crush it, and then use it, and use some animal manure. And but if you are for beginner and you want to get used to initially, then use cocoa peat initially, and then you will learn how to manage it. Now, the having created this bottom bed of up to about 4 to 6 inches, this is a very important step in composting. Then you can actually add the kitchen waste. While adding the kitchen waste, spread it into smaller pieces. It can be, if you have any whole vegetables, cut it into smaller pieces and then add it. If you have any leftover rice block, break it down and spread it. Then the third thing is, if you have any rasam and sambar, drain out the liquid and add only the solid. So cover it with brown material in equal proportion. That is, whatever the volume of kitchen waste that was there, use the same volume of brown material. That makes sure that all the liquid is absorbed within the container itself, and nothing goes below the lid, collected into the bottom plate. Okay, so cover the kitchen waste completely and close the lid. Now you need to keep it in a rain protected place, and that is in the balcony It can be below the water tank. It can be below the solar panel. It can be in the garage. These days, obviously, people build 2 rooms and 4 bathrooms. So, and use only one bathroom. You can keep it in one of the bathrooms that you are not using also. Okay. So now the next day, open the lid. It is daily. Every day, you need to add kitchen waste and then um, kitchen waste, add that, and then again make sure that you are cutting the vegetables, whole vegetables, large vegetables into smaller pieces. That's a very important step. Otherwise, it will become a lump and it will smell bad. You don't want it to smell bad, then follow the procedure. Make sure that you don't have any lump of whole vegetable or the greens and um, or the rice block or 10 chapatis rolled and added as a lump. That should not be done. If you are telling your maid servant to do this work, train her. Tell her how to do this, and that is the procedure. Okay. Now we'll also look at some of the other composters here. This is a pipe composter. It's a PVC pipe. It's about 6 foot long, and 1 foot is fixed into the soil, and 5 foot above the soil. And Balaji is adding the kitchen waste from my home. I have made several videos on this composting. If you are not really catching on, completely understanding the process, do watch the videos. But pipe composting is an amazing way that you can put your, kitchen waste back to the soil. But process remains the same. You need to add greens, browns, and alternate layers of greens and browns. Okay, and now when you water it, you need to water um, the plant through the pipe. Then the nutrition will flow from the pipe into the roots of the tree, because it's about 2 feet away from the tree, not affecting the health of the tree. Okay, so this is pipe composter for you. And there is a mesh composter that is out here in front of my home, and that's an amazing thing. More the air circulation, easier the composting process is. The human tendency is to block, but even in the pipe, we have made 5 mm holes and made sure that it is aerated. And air circulation is one thing that can absorb the moisture in the kitchen waste. And another thing is the browns material. Here we have mesh composters. This is for my garden cuttings, and it's on the street. And about 4 to 5 homes add their kitchen waste into this. This is called Swachha Bidi in Kannada, clean street. You can adopt a street and make sure that the dry leaves and the flowers that is from this. I think it's called Parijata in Kannada. I think Harsinga, uh, a flower that comes and it's beautiful. And we are actually adding some garden cuttings on top of the kitchen waste that is added by the neighbors. This is a mesh composter. More the air circulation, easier the composting is. And yes, the metal mesh will rust, but it comes for about 5 years because it is coated with an epoxy paint. And it is actually, you can buy a MS iron or GI galvanized iron. You can also buy a steel mesh depending on the budget of money that you have. And this is a very important. This can be in the open. It need not be in a rain protected place, because when it rains, rainwater will go through the composter it will feed this plant and the tree. Okay, and there is no clogging of water, and that is the reason why this is a better composter. ಇದನ್ನ ಹಾಕು, ಎಲೆ ಹಾಕು, ದೊಡ್ಡದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕು. So ದೊಡ್ಡದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕು. So Balaji is adding the dry leaves. You don't really need much of cocoa peat in this composter because it is kept fluffy. Okay. Now we'll just finally see one other easy method, and here it is in a tub. All these are DIY methods. Do it yourself. This is a tub on a stand, and we have put some cut cardboard box pieces and as a bottom bed here, and Vasu is going to add other double. Those are all the mango seeds that from the last batch, and haki. There are some earthworms in this, and he will show a bunch. Bottom aliro earthworms ತೋರಿಸು ಬಾಲಾಜಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ಯಾ? Yeah, that's our favorite noodles. And they do a wonderful job. They are the farmer's friend, and we are adding them. Also, the cardboard box pieces, they love it, and it's a very cozy, nice environment. Only once you understand, aerobic composting, which I showed you first, you should get into the earthworm composting, not immediately, because earthworms are very sensitive. And now we can actually add little amount of kitchen waste. That's about 500 grams in one side, one corner, and worms will actually eat them in about 3 or 4 days. So do not on the sulfa compost. Okay, so there are various ways where we can actually try to create this living soil and not worry about what method, but it comes with, it's an experiential learning. Earthworms love coffee powder, used coffee powder and tea powder, and it comes with, it's experiential. It is not something that if you keep watching videos and then wanting to try someday, you start off, you kind of start, and then you will be able to learn. So now we'll go back inside to kind of look at more material. But here are some brinjal. That's safe vegetable grown over here. And also let me show you the pomegranate that's over there. That's the safe vegetable because it's grown from the kitchen waste, and we haven't used any chemical at all. So that's the beauty of composting at home and then growing our own safe vegetables. You can use it to grow various things. As you can see, it's an empty plot next door where there is a lot of colocasia. It's an edible version, and then we have low maintenance banana plants and some papaya plants also. Okay, so it's about whether you like to keep your garden like the way that I have kept. There's a lot of turmeric that I am growing, and so let me go back to inside the house, and then I will switch to the presentation mode.
आई होप सबने देख लिया किस तरह से हम कंपोस्टिंग कर सकते हैं पहले जो वासुकी जी ने दिखाया था वो नॉर्मल कंपोस्टिंग थी और बाद में उन्होंने वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग भी दिखाई। जब हम वर्म्स को यूज करते हैं तो उसमें थोड़ा सा जो हम किचन वेस्ट डालते हैं हमें थोड़ा सा उसके लिए केयरफुल होना पड़ेगा, वो मसाले वगैरह सॉल्ट्स वगैरह ना हो, क्योंकि वर्म्स आर वेरी सेंसिटिव। जी वासुकी जी पहुंच गए हैं, प्लीज काइंडली शेयर द वीडियोस, वी आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू दैट।
Okay. Sorry, I'll just go back to my presentation and then finish 2 more slides and then I'll go to the videos. Okay. I think I spoke about 5 things important for home composting. I just want to mention, you can make your own container, use more crushed dry leaves and sour curd, and you don't have to spend money to do composting, but you need to put more effort. There is a cost versus effort. You want less effort, then you need to spend some money. You can buy this microbial coco peat. It's an option. And then also you can purchase a compost bin. There are many DIY versions. This is the layering process that I was explaining. I think it's a pictorially, it is explained here in this slide. I can share this presentation. I will be sharing it with Kamakshi and others. This is the bottom bed that I created when I did it's a good amount of 4 to 6 inches of bottom bed of brown material that absorbs moisture. Then it is alternate layers of greens, which is kitchen waste, and browns, which is crushed dry leaves, compost, and coco peat. Okay. This has the ability to absorb the moisture. This has moisture. Kitchen waste has 60 to 70% moisture. When we do this alternate layering of sandwich layering is what we call it as, and it's equal proportion by volume. You have a bucket full of greens, kitchen waste, use a bucket full of browns. There is always the question, where do I get dry leaves? Maybe in my neighborhood, there are no trees at all. Or, in my place, actually, there are no cows. How do I get cow dung or animal manure, which is 3 to 4 months mature compost? Everything, when there is a will, there is a way. You will find, you get connected in a WhatsApp groups. We have WhatsApp groups for a lot of things, right? And there is a WhatsApp group for composting enthusiasts. If it is not there, you create one and you lead the effort. You actually also create a group for safe vegetables, safe food. How do I get safe food directly from an organic farmer? That's called community supported agriculture. So these are some of the Jugaad composting is the video that we are going to see with a 1 liter or 2 liter dabba, your curd or, it can be a dabba that you got gobi manchuri or something. You can do composting for 1 day. Try it out. It's a good start. And there is old buckets. Then there is a combo that is a mud pot with a mesh is an excellent composter. Because it has more air circulation. Pipe composting, I just showed you. It need not be on the ground only, it can be on the terrace also. Pipe composter can be in a drum. And there is mesh composters. These are bakasura. We call it a bakasura actually, because they can hog lots and lots of your kitchen waste and give you lots and lots of beautiful black gold. How many containers do I need? It depends on the family size. How many members are in the family? Because number of people increase, the amount of kitchen waste also increases. So composting is an ecosystem. It will have creepy crawlies. Most of the insects, they don't harm you. And they have the right to live on this Mother Earth as much as you are, actually. And by eradicating them, we are actually creating a downfall for ourselves. Okay. So not everything gets composted at the same time. Different organic matter takes different amount of time. Cut it into smaller pieces, it will be faster.
Can
So
we have the film, please?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
sure
can see
whether.
so many questions also coming up.
Yeah, sure.
So we would like to have some time for that. Yeah. Can we have the film, please?
Let me. Okay, so this is my YouTube channel, Vasuki Iyenger. Under the videos, here is the first video, that is 5 things important. But today we are going to show you the Jugaad composting. Just a second. Is the audio shared? I don't know the setting in Zoom. How to is it audio visible? Audible?
You might not know what SSL is, but hackers
सॉइल एंड हेल्थ में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम आप
Poonam ji, are you able to hear
Yeah,
the
I
audio?
could hear, but I could not see.
Okay,
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah. So they are saying, can newspaper be used as a brown element?
So the newspaper is actually, there is a lead ink used in printing it, and it can contaminate. If it is a very little bit of newspaper, few pieces here and there is okay, but not a whole lot. As the browns, you just want to use only newspaper, that's not a good idea. Okay, here is the video I'm playing.
आपको किचन वेस्ट से खाद बनाने का एक मजेदार और आसान तरीका दिखाएंगे। आप सभी के पास घर पर अनयूज्ड डिब्बे या कंटेनर तो होंगे ही, जैसे कि दही के डब्बे, आइसक्रीम के डब्बे, पुरानी बाल्टी या पुराने किराने के कंटेनर। इस वीडियो में हम आपको दिखाएंगे कि उनमें रसोई के कचरे को कैसे खाद बनाया जाए और इन कंटेनर को इस्तेमाल कर माइक्रोग्रीन्स और हरी पत्तेदार सब्जियां उगाया जाए। हमारा इरादा सिंगल यूज डिस्पोजेबल का उपयोग करने का नहीं है, बल्कि उन कंटेनरों और डिब्बों का पुनः उपयोग करना है जो हमारे पास पहले से ही घर पर है। कंटेनर 1 लीटर से 5 लीटर क्षमता के हो सकते हैं। आप इसे डब्बा कंपोस्टिंग एंड ग्रोइंग या मेकशिफ्ट कंपोस्टिंग एंड ग्रोइंग या जुगाड़ कंपोस्टिंग कह सकते हैं। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। सबसे पहले आपको सभी सब्जियों और फलों के छिलकों को आधा इंच के क्यूब्स में काटने की जरूरत है। यह स्टेप बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है क्योंकि खाद में माइक्रोब्स छोटे टुकड़ों पर तेजी से कार्य करते हैं। यह 1 लीटर का दही का डब्बा है। खाने के बाद इस डब्बे को धोने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है क्योंकि दही में भी माइक्रोब्स होते हैं जो खाद बनाने की प्रक्रिया में तेजी लाने में मदद करते हैं। इसे आधे हिस्से तक भरने के लिए 2 मुट्ठी मिट्टी, 1 मुट्ठी खाद और 1 मुट्ठी भर कोकोपीट डालें। और अब दिन भर का किचन वेस्ट जैसे फलों के छिलके, सब्जी के छिलके और पूजा के फूल, इस्तेमाल की हुई कॉफी और चाय पाउडर को कंटेनर की क्षमता के 25% तक डालें और इसे कंटेनर के भरने तक परत दर परत कोकोपीट, खाद और मिट्टी डालें। अपने खाद को पर्याप्त हवा की आपूर्ति सुनिश्चित करने के लिए इस डब्बे का ढक्कन बंद न करें। थोड़ा सा खट्टा छाछ या गाय का गोबर मिलाएं, जो खाद बनाने की प्रक्रिया में तेजी लाता है। उन्हें एक गोलाकार जाली या 4 mm छेद वाली जालीदार शीट के अंदर रखा जा सकता है। आप इन्हें बारिश और चूहों से सुरक्षित रखने के लिए एक मंच के ऊपर या एक ड्रम के ऊपर भी रख सकते हैं, या आप अपने रसोई के कचरे को खाद बनाने के लिए 5 लीटर के प्लांटर पॉट का भी उपयोग कर सकते हैं। पानी ठीक से ड्रेन हो, यह सुनिश्चित करने के लिए पॉट के तल पर कुछ कंकड़ रखें और मिट्टी, खाद और कोकोपीट की एक परत डालें। रसोई के कचरे की एक परत डालें। उसके बाद खाद, कोकोपीट और मिट्टी डालें और पॉट के ऊपर तक मिट्टी डालें। अब इन्हें 1 महीने तक छोड़ दें। यदि आप केवल इस विधि का उपयोग कर अपने सभी रसोई कचरे को खाद बनाने के लिए करने जा रहे हैं, तो आपको लगभग 30 से 40 ऐसे कंटेनरों की आवश्यकता होगी। इन्हें 2 से 3 सप्ताह के लिए अलग रख दें और फिर से इसे चूहों और बारिश से बचाएं। यही प्रक्रिया 8 लीटर बाल्टी थोड़ा सा लकड़ी का राख, नीम पाउडर, करंजा पाउडर, एप्सम सॉल्ट मिलाएं। अब गेहूं से वीट ग्रास और मेथी से मेथी के पत्तों को उगाने के लिए भिगोने के लिए रख दें। यह बीज बोने से पहले अंकुरित हो, यह सुनिश्चित कर लें। बीजों को रात भर पानी में भिगो दें और उन्हें एक नम कपड़े से ढककर रख दें जब तक कि वे अंकुरित न हो जाए। जब बीज अंकुरित हो जाते हैं, सकते हैं। देखा कि कैसे अपने रसोई के कचरे का उपयोग कर खाद बनाकर माइक्रोग्रीन्स और हरी पत्तेदार सब्जियों को आसानी से उगाया जा सकता है। ताजी तोड़ी हुई धनिया पत्ती, मेथी की पत्तियां, वीट ग्रास, राजगिरा और पालक की पत्तियां जो आपके अपने किचन के कचरे से उगाई गई हैं और इन्हें उपयोग करने का रोमांच अनुभव करने योग्य है। पौधे
Okay. So, over to you, ma'am, Poonam ji. I think maybe we can take some questions and then go back to the other video.
Yes. So there were many questions, and then there's another: can hard shelled items like mango seeds, etc., compost easily?
See, there is nothing that comes easy, but because mango seed, the plant intention is actually to safeguard its seed, and that's the reason why it has put that kind of a shell. The one that can make it compost, I do add the mango seeds, and it germinates in the compost bin itself, and a beautiful mango plant will come out. And that's one best way actually it can compost. So there are flowers will compost in 2 weeks. Vegetable peels, most of them will compost in 3 to 4 weeks. Whereas animal bones and mango seeds, the twigs, smaller twigs, dry leaves, these all takes actually 3 months, sometimes 6 months. It is actually you are harvesting and then you are tossing it back into your next compost bin. It will compost. It gets composted. It takes longer.
वासुकी जी कह रहे हैं जो मिट्टी से निकला है वो कंपोस्ट जरूर होगा। कुछ चीजें हैं जैसे ट्विग्स हैं, एनिमल बोन्स हैं, उसमें समय ज्यादा लगता है, और फ्लावर्स, पत्ते वगैरह वो जल्दी कंपोस्ट हो जाते हैं। और मैंगो सीड्स तो कंपोस्ट में मैंगो प्लांट ही बना देंगी। मैंगो का जो शेल होता है वो बड़ा हार्ड होता है, दैट इज टू प्रोटेक्ट द सीड। अगला एक सवाल आ रहा है कि डू वी नीड टू क्रिएट होल्स इन अ मड पॉट एज वेल एज फॉर DIY कंपोस्टर? मड पॉट में होल्स डालें या ना लगाएं?
Yeah, mud pots actually breathe naturally. It is porous, and there is some amount of air circulation that happens. But if you make holes, do you have to be very careful. You put some water before using the drill gun, and use the drill gun very slowly to make holes. If you make holes, it will be more air circulation and it will be faster. If you don't make holes, it takes little longer because the air circulation is restricted. The commercially available mud pots from Daily Dump has holes on the sides.
वासुकी जी कह रहे हैं कि मड पॉट्स में वैसे ही एयर तो पास कर सकती है, पर इतना ज्यादा, जितनी ज्यादा एरेशन होगी, ऑक्सीजन होगी, उतनी जल्दी कंपोस्टिंग होगी, डिकम्पोजिशन होगी. पतली ड्रिल से आप होल्स बना सकते हैं, और कमर्शियली भी मड पॉट्स अवेलेबल हैं जो कंपोस्टिंग के लिए यूज किए जा सकते हैं. तो मेन ये है कि एरेशन जितनी जल्दी अच्छी होगी, उतनी अच्छी कंपोस्टिंग होएगी. अगला सवाल जो मुझे दिख रहा है वो है, हाउ मेनी और क्वांटिटी ऑफ अर्थवर्म्स पर बकेट, प्लीज एक्सप्लेन.
That's actually that's the reason why I was saying composting is experiential. You start composting, you will learn. It's not really easy mathematics wise. I can actually give you some number. Okay, yeah, you need 100 earthworms to start with. And then if you follow the very good conditions, they will become 200, 300. But it's about actually making sure that earthworms also, a lot of people actually buy earthworms and then ask me the question, they're not eating quick enough. I mean, they are not actually like children, right? In at home also, we try to kind of keep feeding the children, right? But you cannot overfeed. Similarly, earthworms, as you noticed, what I added is only a 500 gram, only cucumber peels and carrot peels. I did not add any, onion peels or citrus peels because earthworms don't like them. So, my answer to that is, please start composting. You will learn by experience.
वासुकी जी क्या कहना है कि अभी आप प्लेन कंपोस्टिंग से शुरू करिएगा, एक्सपीरियंस से आप समझ पाएंगे. तो अभी अर्थवर्म्स को थोड़ा सा आराम देते हैं, और ये वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग है, और अर्थवर्म्स के लिए और भी सवाल आ रहे हैं. टाइप ऑफ अर्थवर्म्स, एंड देन देयर इज अ कमेंट, अर्थवर्म्स लव कॉफी पाउडर. और एक सवाल है, प्लीज टेल अस हाउ टू कंपोस्ट नॉन वेज वेस्ट.
Yeah. So before that, I will just give you a couple of direction for earthworms. If you search for Vani Murthy, is her Instagram handle name is Worm Rani, WORM, Worm Rani. She's Bangalore based. She's a member of Solid Waste Management Roundtable also. There's a video on 5 things important for vermicomposting. There is another lady by name Meena Krishnamurthy. And she has a 13 episode video on earthworm composting. It's very detailed, extensive. Please watch. Meena Krishnamurthy is another handle. And then there is another, again, I think this is a lot of, ladies are working in this segment. I think 95%. I'm one of the, men who is working in this solid waste management. I can proudly say that. There is Anu Chabra ji. She has a video in her Budget Gardener. That's the YouTube channel name. She has fantastic videos on mud pot composting and earthworm composting also. To answer about non-vegetarian composting, non-veg, when you compost, there is a worry that there can be parasites and coliform. These are bad microorganisms, more termed from the human angle. And if you are worried, you use a glove and then process the kitchen waste, because the compost made from non-vegetarian waste is more nutritious. It has more NPK values, and it is good. You can compost non-vegetarian waste. We have exclusive videos on chicken waste composting that's not even cooked. It is uncooked from a slaughterhouse. We have videos on fish waste from a slaughterhouse, from a shop. It's absolutely okay to do composting of these. We do have videos on composting of dog poop. Only thing is that wear gloves and wash your hand after you process the waste. And after you also use the compost for the ornamental plants, maybe you make sure that you wash your hand. Sorry, ma'am, that's a lengthy answer.
Fine. So animal composting के लिए जो है सर ने कुछ साइट्स बताई हैं, कुछ लिंक्स बताए हैं, आप वहां पे देख सकते हैं, फिल्म्स हैं, वीडियोस हैं। पर जब एनिमल वेस्ट को या कंपोस्ट कर रहे हैं तो उसमें कुछ ऐसे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स आ जाते हैं जो हमारी हेल्थ के लिए हार्मफुल हैं, और उसके लिए वो कह रहे हैं जब आप कंपोस्टिंग प्रक्रिया कर रहे हैं तब भी ग्लव्स डालिए, और एनिमल वेस्ट से जो कंपोस्ट आपको प्राप्त हो रही है जब आप उसको प्लांट्स के लिए यूज कर रहे हैं तब भी ग्लव्स डालिए। और एनिमल कंपोस्ट की एक खास बात यह है कि उनमें एनपीके वैल्यू हाई होती है, क्योंकि आपको पता है एनिमल प्रोटीन्स होती है और नाइट्रोजन का तो भरपूर मात्रा होती है। तो कुछ प्रिकॉशंस के साथ हम इसको भी कर सकते हैं। और कोई सवाल कुछ पूछना? अब एक और है, व्हाट अबाउट कंपोस्टिंग कुक्ड फूड? शायद फिल्म में वेजिटेबल पील्स वगैरह दिखाई जा रही थी। और दूसरा सवाल है, इनको मैं साथ में क्लब कर देती हूँ। विल द नॉन वेज कंपोस्ट स्मेल बैड? सो कंपोस्टिंग कुक्ड फूड, and then the next question is, will the non-veg compost smell bad?
Composting of cooked food, the reason why it is not shown is because we don't waste food. Very important first thing. We try to, as much possible, not waste food. There can be some cooked food that is sticking around in the vessel when we are washing the vessel. Then that is actually something that I do add. There are days if there is actually some rotten cooked food that is left over, then we do add it. Make sure that the rice block, if you have a block, it's a lump, break it and then add it. Cooked food composts very quickly. There is no problem. If you have 10 chapatis, I obviously had an office software company with 15 employees, and they used to get, order more food, and the 10 chapatis as a roll would go into the compost bin as is. That's a lump, and that will create bad smell. You need to tear down the chapatis and then spread it. That's the mantra.
Then the other is so the animal waste compost. So it was not actually, the question has been modified. Previously it was asked, will the non-veg compost smell bad? But then it is said that, will the animal waste compost stink?
So you follow the process, whether it is vegetarian food, non-vegetarian food, or cooked food. The sandwich layering with 1:1 ratio of browns is important. It will not smell bad. Now, the second part is there is an option for you to, use the right microorganisms. There is effective microorganism solutions that we use. We use this microbial cocoa peat, that is, microbes are infused in a cocoa peat block, and Those are the things that has helped in managing non-vegetarian waste. I will say in the first week, when we open the duckan, there could be some amount of smell in when we are handling non-vegetarian waste, and we did not use enough browns and did not allow air circulation. As long as we follow the process, it will not.
Vasuki ji, a very important question, because in our audience of around 50 people, we have lots of teachers and principals from the Directorate of Education schools. So they are asking, what model do you suggest for community level composting or for a school? Because this is very important. In fact, these days, right now, we are having training for all the 1100 schools of Directorate of Education for eco clubs. So every school has got an eco club. So we would really like to have, that suggestion from you. How can we do that in the school?
Yeah, let me share a picture which is there, because I worked with a government school. Yeah. So this is the, sorry, one second. Do you see my screen, the mesh composter? I'm showing a composter that is made of mesh and the compost being harvested. This is very suitable for schools and colleges. It is set up on a set of cement blocks platform, and cement blocks are just arranged and it is not cemented. And these mesh composters are rat proof and they have excellent air circulation. Let's say you did not follow the process, it will not punish you, kind of a thing. And there are creepers, the pumpkin creeper, the papaya plant grown. This is actually showing and telling you that the material inside is the cod, the compost is very nutritious and healthy, and it is ready. And here is the, this is a temple composter. In temples, we have these kind of mesh composters also for the puja flowers and vegetable peels. This is for vegetable peels and fruit peels and all that leftover food also. Then there is a composter that I want to show you, just a second. So this is a government school, and you can see the children participating in adding their midday meal into the composter. They are very energetic and they love to be part of it, and it is in the garden. These mesh composters are in the garden and it is open to rainfall. Rain is okay if the rainwater is going through and it is feeding the soil below and feeding the trees and plants around it. Okay, so that's the mesh composter.
So these mesh composters are available online, or like if you can share, because we would like to share it with our eco club teachers.
So there are, see, the thing is, if I send it from Bangalore all the way to, Delhi, it is going to cost you. But there are some wonderful DIY mesh composters that I want to show you. Okay. Just a second. Okay, sorry. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
So this is a mango, it's an agricultural farm with coconut trees that you see.
No, we can see that slide only, the
Okay,
school, children with the composter.
Okay, this is the mesh. It's called PVC coated mesh composter. It's a PVC coated mesh available in hardware shops. It's a DIY model, do it yourself model. It is kept on a set of bricks platform or cement block platform is better. And you put all the agro waste that you generate. Obviously, you cut it into smaller pieces and add it. Add your used coffee powder if at all you have it. Add the vegetable peels. It's important in composting, we should not let it dry too much also. It should not be too wet also. If it is dry, composting stops. So there is a, important thing is we use jute sacks. What is it called in Hindi? Bori.
बोरी बोरी
Bori is very,
जूट
very,
की बोरी, जूट की बोरी,
yeah,
क्योंकि आजकल वो दूसरी बोरियां भी आ गई हैं
right.
जूट की. हाँ.
Jute ki bhori is very, very valuable and precious. And cow dung slurry, native cow dung slurry is very important. And you don't have to spend money with, these too much money. You can make your own. We have the videos available for how to make these things. And I want to tell you just give me 1 second, what not to do.
शर्मा जी कह रहे हैं इन आवर स्कूल सो मच लीव्स आर डेली एंड क्लीनिंग इट इज अ प्रॉब्लम. तो शर्मा जी बता ही दिया है, डू इट योरसेल्फ में वो मेश आप लीजिएगा. अभी आपके इको क्लब के टीचर आ रहे हैं ट्रेनिंग लेकर या जाने वाले होंगे, उनको बोलिएगा और एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाकर उसके ऊपर उस मेश को करके आप अपने जो सैनिटरी स्टाफ है उनको बोल सकते हैं पत्ते वगैरह उसमें डालने के लिए. ये बहुत अच्छा उपाय है.
So the important thing is why these projects fail is because of lack of interest and lack of supervision. These things cannot run with only the two housekeeping person actually doing this work. And we need to involve the children, we need to involve the teachers also. There is a eco club or a green club that is needed in every school. And teachers are as equal participants. It's not just about only children. They are the new generation, next generation, they should learn. But teachers and parents cannot continue to trash this planet. Everybody, adults, children, grandparents, everybody should do this work. One important thing is do not overload the compost bins. There is a specification that simple signs of equal ratio of greens and browns applies to all. Lack of supervision, lack of interest is very important. Segregation. I'm sure Sharmaji is talking about leaves, but how much of gutka packets are there in that? How much of cigarette packets are in that one? Or chocolate papers are in it? And who is going to actually segregate? The segregation dustbins should be there in every school. The Eco Club should manage and monitor, and that's Eco Club is a combination of students and teachers together.
Vasuki ji, this year in our Delhi Eco Club trainings, we have prepared a manual, and we have identified 7 SDG goals. So, how to attain SDG goals through Eco Clubs. So that intensive training is going on, in which we are talking of and, giving practical this thing. We have people from organizations like So Good Seeds and others, those who are, doing it with the children and microgreens and all. And every person in the school has been given a name, and all the students are the Paryavaran Praharis. So if any child is, accidentally, or otherwise breaking a pot while walking, children are naughty. then he will realize himself or herself, oh, I am a Paryavaran Prahari, I should take care of my environment. So Paryavaran means environment. So we have tried to rope in all the people, everybody in the school. But this idea is very good that we can, have a do-it-yourself composting mesh, bin kind of a thing.
Yeah, Poonamji, the reason why I think I mentioned that about lack of interest and lack of supervision, because when we talk about composting, 50% of or 70% of my projects are, that's actually because of not following follow through, and ignoring, and it's not self-sustainable. It is not something that it requires actually that supervision. That's the reason I just mentioned. I'm glad to hear so much of interest around managing the waste. I also found wherein there is a green building certification for many of the schools or even the college organizations and all, but there is a lot of interest in growing microgreens or growing safe vegetables, but they are not showing the same amount of interest in composting, because composting is not glamorous at all. It is very dry subject, and but it is the need of the hour. So that's the reason why I was actually mentioning that please give composting equal importance as much as the annual day, the gardening in the school premises.
Yeah. So एक और क्वेश्चन था उसको लेकर, then we will stop. Can we add food which has spoiled or has got fungus? ये एक सवाल है.
Fungus is a usual question asked,
Good.
every time.
Good decomposer.
Yeah, white fungus is good for composting. It's bad on, let's say you have a spoiled coconut or a tomato that where the fungus is, but white fungus is good. Continue the process, not to worry. You can add spoiled food. When you say spoiled food, that means numerous microorganisms have started having a feast. They are actually eating. It is rich with microorganisms. So add it. It is good.
In fact, we have exceeded our time. There are still, so many things even I would have loved to ask. So a little bit about your journey and where are we at present, where you are at present, and what are your goals and what you are looking at.
A great question. We have a learning center in Bangalore. It is in HSR layout, and there are two programs. This learning center is in a 1.5 acre park, and it is in the middle of the city. And we run volunteering program. We need to spare some time in our busy life for the social cause and social problems. There are several problems, and garbage is one of the problem. There is a very good group in NCR area called NCR Waste Matters. I gave the name, connect to Kamakshi. She's Monica Khanna Gulati. She's a member of Solid Waste Management Roundtable. She speaks excellent Hindi. Please do speak to her, and she has done amazing work, particularly her battle against why burn waste. That's the battle that we are all going through, wherein there are machines that are advertised that show you and tell you that within one day, in 24 hours, your compost will be ready. And that is actually not true at all. It is just burning the waste. It is burning so much that we are generating. So the Learning Center in Bangalore, we also run volunteering program. We try to encourage college students, corporate employees to come and learn best practices in sustainable living. And the second part is a skilling program. Skilling program, there is a need and there is a lack of skilled resources who can manage solid waste in an urban setup, in a city, at an apartment, at a park, at a locality. So we run these programs to train rural youth of different education level to learn this technique and be employable, they'll be able to work in this segment, because solid waste management is also an equally respected job. Our intent is to increase the respect for the compost karigars who are working in this segment, and they should not be kind of called in various different names. They should be addressed with their name that is being given to them by their parents.
Thank you so much. Shubhangi, can we have you for the closing? I can see lots of
Yes.
thanks, like people, they are saying that lot many questions, have been answered. Yeah, back to Shubhangi.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Vasuki ji. The session was really very interesting. I was getting little unstable network, so I was trying to shuffle between YouTube and Zoom so that I can attend. And yeah, it was very fascinating. And the best part was that there were so many practical problems which we face in our every day-to-day life when we do composting, or even if we think about composting the waste. So I hope that people might have got their answers, and they would be starting, or taking this initiative of converting their waste into black gold. So hopefully, like, if there are no more questions, we can probably close. And also, we will be sharing the YouTube link with you all on our WhatsApp group. Also, the PPT and other YouTube links which Sir has mentioned about. Also, the YouTube, his own YouTube channel, where you can find multiple videos, where you can read more about, where you can learn more about the problems we face in the composting, the flies, the smell, where to put, how to do, and those videos will be answering those questions. So, would like to close with just like a few moments of silence, so that in a sense of gratitude for being able to have all this knowledge, and let's immerse ourselves into it. I know the time is already up. Just 30 seconds if we can sit in silence and just, feel and be grateful. We can we can think about all the things we learned today, and what promises can we do to ourselves, so that we can be conscious people who are making conscious decisions in their day-to-day life, and that would make a lot of difference. Just 3 long deep breaths, and we'll close the session. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining. And thank you, Vasuki ji. Thank you, Poonam ji,
Thank you.
for
Thank
moderating
you so
the
much.
session so well.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye.